A surprise WWE superstar has been drafted from Raw to SmackDown. The WrestleMania 42 location has been reportedly revealed, and we have an update on TNA star Chris Bey. It's time for the news. People over there, what's up?
What's up?
Can you hear me now? And say, what's up?
What's up?
R-Truth's been drafted to SmackDown. PW Insider reporting that he is set to join the Blue brand. This hasn't officially been announced by WWE just yet. Curious timing on the road to WrestleMania. He's joining the recently drafted Miz over on SmackDown as well. Of course, former tag team champions together. Are they going to get back together? Are they just trying to keep him away from John Cena, who's probably going to pop up more on Raw because of Netflix?
Oh, maybe, but
bastards.
If John Cena goes for Cody Rhodes, then surely he'll turn up more on SmackDown.
Good point.
Oh.
And that's where R-Truth is now.
Also, I mean, R-Truth turned up on SmackDown last week, and he was like, "No, this is Raw. I just spoke to Adam Pearce. He's got more hair now, and he has a British accent."
I thought that was just a bit. I didn't know if that was leading anywhere. He's always fantastic. He's a gem, isn't he? He's really a joy to watch, whatever he does. And now he's on the Blue brand, so tune in on Friday nights. A surprising pair of names has been signed to a WWE Legends deal. PW Insider initially breaking this news. Bill Eadie and Barry Darsow, aka Demolition, have been signed to Legends deals. This one is especially surprising just because of some past legal action that has gone down between WWE as well as the two initial members of Demolition. So Eadie and WWE were involved in a very, very long legal battle regarding the rights to the Demolition name. And then Eadie and Darsow were part of that CTE lawsuit against the company that was eventually dismissed a few years ago now. This means that they are now open to doing more with WWE, specifically regarding merchandising and being included in various bits of media, video games, for example. We've not seen them in a WWE video game since WWE 12. It's been an awful long time.
That's a very long time indeed.
It is, and considering like all of their, especially their big accolade at the time, the longest reigning single reign with WWE Tag Team Championships. So it's really cool to see this happening, and I want a Demolition shirt now, Andrew.
Oh, I reckon. Well, I mean, we'll get one, won't we? It feels like it's following a similar trend of seeing stars like Jesse the Body Ventura come back as well. Like they've had all these legal issues and stuff in the past with WWE, maybe more specifically Vince McMahon as well, and now that the tide has changed and the tide has shifted, it feels like some of these people are starting to come back into the company again on these legend deals as well. So do we see them like turn up at a Saturday night's main event for a little bit of something, or like in some sort of, I don't know, like video game wise, if they do like a tag team showcase or something down the line, it'd be cool to see them in that. And I think rightly you would want to see them in something like that as well. Yeah,
for sure. I tell you what, Triple H is very, very good at mending fences, isn't he? He's been very, very good at that. Even before he took his current role in WWE, he was the man largely responsible for like getting Bruno Sammartino back through the door. And he's done, I think, a really, really good job on that side of things. So it'll be interesting to see where Bill Eadie and Barry Darsow have Demolition pop up. WrestleMania 42. Isn't really fast approaching, but we're getting there. WrestleMania 42 taking place next year, and WrestleVotes have revealed the location in mind for it.
Yes, they say sources indicate WWE is planning on announcing WrestleMania 42's location prior to this year's event, with the highly speculated New Orleans, LA as the host city. The Superdome, or the Silverdome, brother, home of WrestleMania 30 and 34, is set to host its third Mania in 2026.
It's cool. I've always wanted to go to New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans.
I love the sets that they do or have done for the WrestleManias in New Orleans, because they add like the Mardi Gras aspect and stuff to it. It seems like a proper like party atmosphere that weekend. So it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward if it's there. Yeah,
for sure. Bourbon Street.
Bourbon
Street. Sean Ross Sapp adding to this story, saying that those that Fightful Select spoke to aren't expecting a UK or Saudi Arabia WrestleMania before 2028. Obviously, John Cena teased us massively, and then there were those press photos that came out of Triple H, and was Nick Khan there? I think Nick Khan was there as well, with the tiny little belt, meeting the mayor of London, but that's not happening anytime soon, but also nothing planned for Saudi Arabia, at least before 2028. So mark that on your calendars now. Jordan Grace with a naughty little tease on Twitter. That sounds wrong. Josh Alexander, right, did a big long I saw those eyes.
No, there's no eyes there.
Josh Alexander putting a very, very lengthy statement about his time in TNA Online. Obviously, he's just left TNA. It was his last match on TNA Impact this week that's just gone. And he put a big, lengthy statement out, essentially talking through his journey in professional wrestling all the way up to TNA, thanking lots and lots of people. We're not going to read it out, but it's well worth a read. It's about 1,500 words if you've got the time. Jordan Grace replying to it, saying,
"See you soon, bro."
Oh, they might just be going for a pint of protein shake. We don't know. Obviously, Jordan Grace has recently signed with WWE, just in case you've been living under a rock. And maybe, just maybe, that means that Josh Alexander, who is awesome and we've talked about a lot recently, so I don't want to just sit here bigging him up for 10 minutes, but he is brilliant. He's great to watch, and maybe Jordan Grace knows something that we don't know.
Please,
I agree, please.
Again, when we initially heard about the stuff with TNA and WWE and the sort of partnership there, he was definitely one of the first people I thought, I just want to see him do some big stuff in WWE.
He's class.
He really is.
He's so fun to watch. Anyway, we're going to finish off with some really, really beautiful, positive news. TNA Wrestling's Chris Bey has provided an update on his serious neck injury. So, in case you missed it, last October in a match against the Hardy Boys, Chris Bey suffered this injury. The match immediately being called off by medical personnel, and the referee stopping things. He was stretchered out, taken to a hospital, received surgery very, very quickly. We've heard little bits since that happened, largely from Chris Bey's colleagues and friends, just indicating where he's at in his recovery. Chris Bey has now taken to social media, posting a video and a statement alongside that. In the video, it's beautiful. He stands up, gets up from a seated position to standing completely unassisted, and a big lengthy statement, but a few excerpts from that as well here.
Yes, he said, "I was laid out paralyzed in the middle of the ring. I was ashamed for not being able to finish the match. I was embarrassed and I was scared. Thanks to our incredible ringside doctor and the team at TNA, I was rushed to a nearby hospital and quickly underwent a surgery fusing my neck C6-C7 and a spinal cord fusion C6-T1. If it weren't for TNA and their quick reaction to the accident, I may not be here today. They've been so helpful throughout this entire journey. I've had an incredible support system," Bey continued to write in the social media post, and he said he was overwhelmed by the love and support the wrestling community provided following the harrowing incident. He goes on to say, "Will I ever wrestle again? Never say never. I'm just so grateful to be alive. I don't know what my purpose is, but all I know is there's something meant for me to do. This will be the greatest story ever told. I love you all."
Beautiful stuff. I got quite emotional watching it yesterday because things have been pretty quiet on the Chris Bey front, and there were a few messages. I remember Rob Van Dam saying that things were looking positive. I've sort of cast the idea, obviously, hopefully he's able to wrestle again, but I've really cast that from my mind. The guy is lucky to be walking, to be getting up unassisted at this point of his recovery is very, very promising indeed. There was just such a genuine, sincere outpouring of love for Chris Bey when this happened. The GoFundMe went up, and nobody had a bad word to say about the bloke. It was so clear that he was so beloved within wrestling by all of his colleagues and fans alike as well, and it's just brilliant to see that he's on the road to recovery. He's an awesome guy, he's an awesome wrestler, and we'll keep you updated, but yeah, just a fantastic, lovely little story to be ending on. We send our very best as always to Chris Bey. Thank you very, very much for watching. We'll be back with more news in a few hours. You have a lovely, lovely day. See you in a bit.